Sister of St. Joseph, Judith Kappenman, is a familiar face to many in the Springfield area. As a longtime English teacher, the director of the Irish Cultural Center at Elms College, and a singer in the Diocesan Choir and Springfield Symphony Chorus. Recently, Sister Judith has added another title to her resume, author. Rebecca Drake now has the story of a granddaughter's tribute to her beloved grandfather.
As a child, Judith Kappenman listened to her Irish-American grandfather, John Donahue, tell stories about how he had come from Boston to live on a farm in Worthen, South Dakota. But it would be many years later when Judith, now a Sister of St. Joseph, would discover the reason behind her grandfather's 19th century journey to a place so far away from home, and how he overcame a childhood of indentured servitude to become a loving husband, father, and grandfather. In her recently published book, To Dakota and Back, the story of an orphan train rider, Sister Judith recreates the life of this remarkable man.
John Donahue was born in South Boston on Silver Street in 1877. When he was 4 years old, his mother died, leaving 3 children. She was 32. The father, unable to care for 3 children and work, put the 3 children in the home for Catholic destitute orphans in Boston.
While researching her book, Sister Judith discovered that her grandfather was one of hundreds of thousands of children who from 1854 to 1930 were taken from orphan homes and sent into rural areas in the United States and Canada to work on farms.
I didn't understand as a child, nor even as an adult, the impact of the orphan train rider movement. It was certainly not anything in our history books. So the more I did the research on it and realized that he was one of these who was shipped across the country to work as an indentured servant, I was even more impressed by him.
As a former English teacher, and since 2003, the director of the Irish Cultural Center at Elms College in Chicopee, Sister Judith is no stranger to research and writing. Still, it took a plea from her mother to commit to telling her grandfather's story to the world.
After my grandfather died in '63 and my grandmother in '67, and as my mother herself began to age and decline, and this was probably in the '80s, she began saying, somebody's got to write Granddad's story. And in the early '90s, when she became more and more insistent, I said, I should tell the story. I am an English teacher. I will do it, Mother.
So after her retirement from teaching in 2000, Sister Judith began the 10-year task that resulted in a fictionalized but historically accurate account of an orphan train rider whose faith and inner fortitude helped him rise above his hardships.
What he decided was that once he was free, he was going to make a life for himself. He was going to find a woman who could love him and whom he could love, where they could share life, and they were sharers. They were true partners. They worked together all their life.
A Sister of St. Joseph since 1953, Sister Judith Kappenman spent 42 years in the field of education, 36 of those years as a high school English teacher. But writing a book about her grandfather has opened a whole new chapter in her life.
Well, I've become a bookseller. I've become a self-promoter. In all my life, I wanted to stand in the background, but it's not promoting me, it's promoting the story. Thank you very much for coming. I wrote this book as a promise to my mother. My mother loved her parents dearly and had a special place in her heart for her father.
Sister Judith is now juggling her responsibilities at the Irish Cultural Center with a whirlwind of book reading engagements, including a recent presentation at a First Friday prayer breakfast at the Bishop Marshall Center in Springfield.
One evening after supper, Sister Angelica, they were Daughters of Charity,
called a group of about 20 boys into the classroom. John and his brother Tom were among the group, all wondering why she had assembled them.
As she shares the events of her grandfather's life, Sister Judith says she hopes readers will take away an important message.
I think people reading this book should understand that no matter where we come from, no matter what difficult situations we are involved in childhood, we can survive, we can overcome, we can become good people.
I am so blessed to be the granddaughter of this man. To Dakota and back, the story of an orphan train rider. I love my grandfather, John Donahue.
And there will, no doubt, be continued applause for this first-time author and devoted granddaughter. For Reel to Reel, I'm Rebecca Drake.
The life of John Donahue is certainly a testament to the power of faith and strength of family. For more information on To Dakota and Back, you can log on to our website at iobserve.org for a link.